Hey guys, it's Hayes with CheatSheetPros.com. Today we're going to look at our player props for the NBA on this small 4-game slate. Today's January 6th on Thursday. And if you're not aware, we do give out our free NBA cheat sheets in our Facebook group. The link is in the description on Thursdays for free for everybody to play with, try, give feedback. And then the members, it's pretty inexpensive. It's like $14 a month or $35 for 3 months. Or you can just watch these videos and I'll give you some of the plays that jump out at me. So as always with our videos, we're going to go over here and look at the prop tab and the last 7 tabs. So what we're doing for player props is we're looking at a player's last 7 days and comparing it to the current projection, because usually the current projection is really close to the player prop line. So we're going to look at a few that I like today. You can see what I did over here on the side. I went ahead. I'm going to leave this up. This is the player prop parlay we're going to build. It's Jaylen Brown over 6 rebounds, or at least 6 rebounds. So Jaylen Brown over 5.5 rebounds, at least 21 points. Julius Randle at least 9 rebounds. Marcus Smart to score 10. Marcus Morris to score 16. And Andrew Wiggins to score 20. And you can see we got cut off a little bit here at the bottom. Now this pays plus $12.50, so a small $8 play would pay $100. You can mix and match, go a little lighter on them. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these and how I found them. So as always, when I come in here, I'm going to go to the last 7 tab. I'm going to sort by points, rebounds, assists, high to low, which you can see I've done that. And I'm going to start going down the list and looking at some game logs of anyone who's got decent minutes. Now these 4 players here, you can see the minutes are in the low 20s, teens. I'm going to stay away from them. Some of the lines aren't out yet. One I'm really interested in is Ja Morant. His projection's 23.3 points. He's averaging 30.7 across 3 games over the last week. So typically anyone that's hot over the last 7, the algorithm for the projections and the player props has not caught up yet. So Ja Morant's someone I'm really interested in tonight as far as points. But as you can see, he is not out yet on the book that we're going to take a look at. So let's go ahead and take a look at the very top guy. So right up here we have Jaylen Brown. I'm going to scroll across here, take a look at his numbers. And I wanted to let you guys know, I blew this up to 125%, so hopefully you can see it better. But if you go to the little cog on the bottom of the screen, that should be the settings. Click that. Go to quality and click 720p, and that should help you see the numbers a little bit better. I know some people had some questions about being able to see the numbers that we were looking at. So right here, points, we can see last 7, he's putting up 34.7. His projection is 21.6. However, we know Jayson Tatum's back. Even with Jayson Tatum in the lineup last night, he exploded. So let's go ahead and kind of take a look. Jaylen Brown was even getting more aggressive with the ball before Tatum went out, and so he had 30 points last night, and then he had some massive games when Tatum was out, 30, 24, 50, 30. He's taken a ton of shots, and so what I like doing on here is putting in his at least 21 points. So when we go over here to build this, we're going to go Jaylen Brown. We're going to slap him up here. Real quick, I like to look at the PRA, points, rebounds, assists, 33, don't mind that, but I can't parlay him. So we are going to look at the points. So 24 is 109. So looking at it, he had 30 last night, 50, 24, 30, 26. So that's a pretty good number, but just to be safe on this, I cranked it down to kind of see where we would get the money. At 22, it's 238, and I wanted to keep it less than minus 300. We get to 21, and you can see if we drop to 20, it jumps to 345. The 300 is kind of my threshold for this parlay, so to score at least 21 points is minus 286. So that's gives him an over-under of 20.5. That's pretty safe, even if Tatum does have a big game. So we're going to go ahead and put that one in our parlay. That's going to be our first leg. Now, I like Jaylen Brown. He's very productive. So another one that jumped out at me is his total rebounds. So looking at his rebounds, he's got 6, 11, 11, 8, 10, and then 4, 6, and then some lower games. But recently, he's got a low of 6, which he had last time, and then 11, 11, 8, 10. So we can get over 6 rebounds, which is, well, over 5.5. It's at least 6 for 123. If we knock it down 1 rebound, it jumps to 303. I don't like that. So I'm going to take over 5.5 rebounds, and I'm going to add this to the parlay to give us another leg. I think that's pretty safe. If he's scoring this many points. He's likely going to grab 6 boards. That doesn't seem too out of the way. So let's go down here. Now, the number 2 guy on here is Julius Randle. He's only got 1 game. He just came back. But we know he plays a ton of minutes, and he scored a ton of points. So in this one game, let's go ahead and take a look at Randle. So we're going to look at Julius Randle here. We're going to pull up his game log. So he was out. Oh, he wasn't out that long. So he had a rough game here, 13, 25, 23 points. So last night he had 16 boards, 30 points. So he had a massive game, and they're going to need him going up against Boston with Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum in the lineup, scoring a lot of points. Now his points are kind of sporadic, so that kind of worried me. So when I pulled him up, so I pull up Julius Randle here. We're going to look at PRA, 36. Okay, that gives me an idea. Points, 22. I don't mind 22 points, but you can see he's got a 13-point game here where he did play 38 minutes and shot 5 for 20. So that does worry me. He's got a lot of these 21, 20, 21, 23. So he kind of hovers around that number, so I don't really like the 22. But one of the ones that did jump out at me, so his rebounds, over 9.5 or at least 10 is minus 108. And his rebounds, he had 16, so he's feeling the groove. He's got 10, 15, 12, 9. So, I mean, he's 10 to 12 or better in the last 4 games. So I can get 10. So to make this parlay a little bit safer, I'm going to drop it down 1 rebound, 227. Let's look at 8. That jumps to 500. I don't want that. I want to be less than that 300 mark. So 227 over 8.5 boards. That looks pretty good. I mean, he almost doubled that last night. So we're going to slap that in there at minus 227. So you can see right now our parlay, if you just want these 3 games, is going to be plus 217. So you're getting double money, and you've only got 2 players to watch, and it's a pretty safe parlay so far. But however, I want to get something that's 10 to 1 or better because I like taking a lot of big shots here. So we're going to scroll down here. 3rd guy on the list, Marcus Smart. I'm going to scroll across and see where he's doing well. Rebounds, kind of so-so. He's doing better, but Jayson Tatum's back, so I don't want to compete with Tatum and Brown for rebounds. Assist, he's kind of right in there, but he's jumping out on the PRA, and we can tell it's right here because of his points. He's projected at 9.8 points, so we'll say 10. Last 7 is 3 games, and he's averaging 18.3, so that's really good. So I want to look at his game log and see what he did last night when Tatum was back. So we got Marcus Smart. We're going to go look at his game log. So last night he had 14 points, and he had 12 field goal attempts, so that's pretty good. He made 2 threes, so he had 14 points. And then prior to that, when Tatum was out, he had 17, 24, 19, and then kind of some sporadic, decent games, low games. So I don't mind him here. Looking at this number, if you want to leave one off, I'd probably leave this one off because we don't know with Brown and Tatum. If Brown goes over, there's a chance Smart may not, but I like taking a shot here. Now, 11 points minus 125, that's not too bad. And I want to move the money around a little bit. See, so 192, and then that jumps to 286. So that jumps 100 points from 9 to 10. So if we go at least 10, that's giving us, so Marcus Smart over 9.5 points. I like that. He could double that. So just for him to have 10 points, I'm going to slap it in here so we can get a little bit more because there's only 4 games that we're playing on tonight. I don't like anything else on the Morris. And then when we slide down these 4, you can see the minutes are kind of crappy, so I'm going to skip them. I looked at Jonas, RJ Barrett, low minutes, Bay. He wouldn't be a bad one. Morant's not out yet. And so I'm getting kind of down here into the 5 to 7 range, so I'm going to jump over to points and start working down the list. So we've already looked at Brown, Randle, low minutes, Marcus Smart. I've looked at them. He's not out yet. And we're kind of going down the list. And so one of the ones that did jump out at me, but he's not showing up on the list, is Marcus Morris. So Marcus Morris, let's go ahead and take a look at his game log. Oh, we got him right there. Now let's go ahead and pull him up on here. So Marcus Morris is a guy that's just exploded recently. He did have a rough game last time out. So if you're looking at his PRA numbers, actually, let me save that, table that, we'll go to that. So his last game, so he had 38, 38, 27, 32 minutes, 33. And then last game, he only played 24 minutes. I believe he had a rest game right before that. 4 of 9, so you can see he didn't shoot nearly as many buckets. Only had 12 points. 2-2, so he had a PRA number of 16. But prior to that, like 20 points, 23 points, 24 points, 24 points. He's doing really well. So when we put him in here, we're going to go ahead and take a look at his points because I'd like to put him in our parlay on a small 4-game slate. If they have any shot at staying in this game, they're going to need him to have a good game. And so his points are 18, and he's averaging 20, 23, 24, 24. So that's good. It's a tough matchup against Phoenix, so I'm going to drop this down a little bit, kind of see where this money moves. So 16,182 is good. It jumps to 263 and 333. So you could move this around wherever you're comfortable. You can kind of see you get less payback for wherever you go. The number that I ultimately set on was over 15.5 or at least 16 minus 182. That's a fairly safe number. It's not a bad line. Even the game he didn't do good, he had 12. So getting up here to 16 isn't bad. Now, if you want to take this parlay from plus 1250 to plus 1500, you can check this little box that says Phoenix to win, and that's really going to drive it up. I left it off just because I want to be a little bit safer. I don't want to go too crazy tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 16 points on here. Now you can see our parlay is up to plus 675, so we're getting a pretty good payday. Now, one of the things we have to look at is Steph Curry is likely to not likely to play tonight. He had a quad injury. He has 2 crappy games. Let's go ahead and take a look at him. So he is probably going to be out tonight. That's what everything's indicating at. So in his last 2 games, look, from 3-point land, he's 1 for 10, 1 for 9. So he's 2 for 19 in his last 2 games, 3 for 17 against Miami, 5 for 24. He only has 9 and 14 points. And then in the last game, you can see here, he suffered a quad injury, so it's unlikely that he is going to play. So the other guy who takes a lot of shots, even when Curry is in the lineup, should get a few more, is Andrew Wiggins. So Andrew Wiggins doesn't show up on the sheet, but as soon as I saw that Steph Curry is likely doubtful, he's someone that I was interested in. You can see he's playing a good amount of minutes every game. He's 32 to 36 minutes, 5 games in a row, and he shoots anywhere from 13 to 20 baskets. Now, the last 2 games when Curry was taking all the shots, he only had 13 field goal attempts, but prior to that, he was 19 and 20. I think we see more of the 19 and 20 range tonight, and he's got 17, 22, 25, 21, 27. So he's got a pretty consistent points, 17 to 27 over the last 5 games, so a pretty wide range. So let's go ahead and take a look at his points total. And if we're looking at his raw points here, so 21 minus 114 looks pretty good, even if you want to do a straight wager. With Curry out, that seems to be a no-brainer. But since this is the last leg of the parlay, I'm going to move the money around, kind of see where I can go. I don't even mind going over 17.5. That seems like a pretty safe lock, and I may do a card with that. But right now, what I settled on is over 19.5. So for him just to have 20 points, minus 141, I'm pretty good with that. So I'm going to slap that in here. So this gives us a parlay of Jaylen Brown over 20.5 points, over 5.5 rebounds, Julius Randle over 8.5 boards, Marcus Smart over 9.5 points, Marcus Morris over 15.5 points, Andrew Wiggins over 19.5 points, and we get plus 1250. So you can see here, if you're a small bettor, you can do $8, returns 108, so 8 pays $100 profit. If you're a bigger bettor and you want to do 25, well, won't let me do that many. Then 25 is going to pay a little over 300. So you can go a little bit everywhere with this. I like this parlay. It's pretty good. And like I said, you can mix and match. It's a small 4-game slate. And if you want to crank this up a little bit, let me go ahead and show you the... Where'd we go? All right, so Marcus Morris, we're going to put them in there. And I want to put the Phoenix to win option and show you. So we were at plus 1250, so we're going to do Marcus Morris points. We settled on 16, and then I'm going to click this Phoenix to win. They're a double-digit favorite. So we're going to add that in there. That drops this to 123, which is even better. And then that takes our parlay from plus 1250 to plus 1500. So now you get 15 to 1. So $10 pays 150. So that's not terrible. If you like Phoenix, you can slap that in there, and that's going to give you a little bit more. Now, if we're looking at straight wagers, there's a couple of them that I like tonight, and we've already discussed them. And so Marcus Morris is one that I want to look at his points, rebounds, and assists. So when we look at straight wager for Marcus Morris, let me pull him up. So Marcus Morris, PRA, we're going to throw out this last game where he only played 24 minutes. But prior to that, he had, let me see, there's 39, 35. So he had 39 here. He had, these are going to be hard to see, and I apologize. So I'm going to read them off to you. So 39, 35 here, and then 35 here again, and then 33 in the next week. So prior to that, he had 4 games in the 30s. And then you come over here and look, his over-under is 26.5 points, rebounds, assists. I don't mind that. I'm probably going to bump it up to over 27.5 or at least 28 and get even money. And this is even moved. It was plus 100 a little bit ago, so a little bit of money is slightly coming in there, so they're starting to move the line. So Marcus Morris over 27.5 or 26.5 points, rebounds, assists is something that I'm going to look at. And then the other one I'm looking at for a straight wager tonight, again, there's only 4 games, it's kind of light, is going to be Andrew Wiggins. Now, when we look at his game log, he doesn't do much for rebounds and assists, but he does get some. So here we've got 5, 10, 4, 9, 8. So you could say he's about 5 to 6 safe for rebounds and assists. So when we're looking at his number, he's over 27.5. So that means he'd have to get 22, 23 points depending upon what you want to go at. So I like that with no Curry. I think that's a good one for a straight wager. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in. And then when we're looking at Thrive, keep an eye on these. These change all day. I've only found 2 that I really like so far, and that one's Julius Randle, 26.5 points and assist. We talked about him. He's coming off a 30-point 4-assist game, so 34. So that's not bad. I don't love any of these. These are teams I really don't follow a lot. Marcus Morris, 17.5 points. Like we said, he had the 12, but prior to that, 20, 23, 24, 24. So I don't mind doing that over. I haven't made any bets on Thrive yet. There's nothing that I love. I haven't looked at Prize Picks, but this is kind of the player prop that I've built so far. So anyways, you guys, good luck. Hopefully we can get some bigger slates and get some more games going, but I wanted to get something up for today, January 6th, Thursday. Have a good day, guys.